Well, welcome in, Dr. Brooks. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank
Yes, thank you
you.
so much for
Mhm.
coming in.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure to come here. I'm
Literally anytime.
fascinated by how this studio looks, so it's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
Oh, yeah.
it's
Shout out Mr.
amazing.
Milton.
Yes, sir. He is the man for
Oh, he
sure.
is the man for sure.
Yeah.
Getting us all together, it's
Absolutely.
crazy. Well, anyways, you are a superintendent
Yeah,
and you actually started your educational career a little bit differently than most
Mhm.
people would think. You started teaching in an alternative school.
I
So
did.
kind of I know I
I
already asked
did.
you this before,
Yeah.
but what's your kind of what have you gained from that experience that really helps you in
Well,
the position you are in now?
I think what I learned in that role was how to deal with difficult things, but also too,
Mhm.
I think I was pretty fortunate because I was the only male in the building. It's a really small building. So I started my career in Bessemer City Schools,
Mhm.
and so they hired me to teach seventh grade science. I taught PE as well, but being the only male and being like 23, and I had maybe the ability to relate to the kids to some degree to calm them
Mhm.
down because it was actually during a time in the Birmingham metro area when like gangs in '90 when gangs were really big, and so we had rival gangs at the school, so it was pretty
Mhm.
interesting, and,
Oh, I bet.
my my principal, Vicky Manzella, shout out to Miss Manzella, um, she would put me in these great situations to lead when she was out of the building, and so I think in many respects, that was something that helped me develop this idea that I wanted to be a leader and so here I am. But I get the
Mhm.
question a lot. When you were growing up, did you want to be a superintendent? I'm like, nobody grows up wanting to be that, you know, but
Yeah.
um but you find yourself in these opportunities where,
Mhm.
you're put in a position to lead and I think that kind of helps you along your journey.
Absolutely, that's amazing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And then falling back on you being the only male in that school, how has that kind of allowed you to, I guess, be a role model for the males in that school?
Yeah, listen, I think, the idea of being a role model to me is
Mhm.
important every single day. I know all too well that people are paying attention to what you do. And so um, I thought back then, I thought it was critical because, again, they were my reaction to the students and my response to their behavior or whatever information that I gave them to help them think about things differently, I knew how important that was because, I know you guys can't imagine this, but there in certain situations, it was kind of life or death because
Mm.
these kids were these kids were had
Rough.
some really
Rough.
difficult things going on in their
Yeah.
lives. So
Yeah.
yeah. So
Wow, that's amazing. And speaking of role models, we know someone who's a role model in your life, Mr. Randy Fuller, who the
yeah.
former superintendent and your former high school basketball coach. Could you tell us a little bit about his leadership in your life and just how he kind of influenced you?
Yeah, I mean, I met him when I was 15, 14, somewhere,
Yeah,
I think
Wait, that young?
yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
that's so cool.
so, what was fascinating about him, and it is now to some degree, he was really a visionary. Like, he
Mhm.
was the
Mhm.
person that he would do things prior to anyone ever doing it. So, I
Yeah.
guess my best example is I remember he told us one time we were going to spend the night at the gym and we were going to wake up at like midnight and
Oh my
start
goodness.
practicing, which kinda if you see now on TV, you see the whole Midnight Madness thing for
Yeah.
Mhm.
basketball, so he was on the cutting edge of that, but
Wow.
he did that for team building, he brought us in, gave us an opportunity to eat together, sleep together, play together, but he's really a visionary,
That's
and
incredible.
yeah,
Mhm.
and I think what's amazing to me is that I had the opportunity to watch him, like, develop those visions,
Mhm.
from the time he was a coach to the time he was a principal, up to the time that he was a superintendent. So, I know I don't wanna dominate the conversation, but
Oh, no,
but
please.
I have
The
to
floor is
tell
yours.
you, um, it's amazing to me how that carried on because, see, I remember when on this property, there was nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a trailer sitting out at the edge of the property, and Mr. Fuller and his assistant, Cheryl Thomas, they were in that trailer, that portable, planning for Oak Mountain to be built, planning.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Wait a second,
And
the
I
dots
ca
are connecting.
yes, and I was working on my administrative degree, and I came to do some intern work with him in that
Mhm,
portable, and I was just fascinated with all the things that he was sharing with me. So, what I don't I guess you guys don't know this, I hope you think about it, but
mhm.
everything that is happening in this building, everything that is geared toward excellence, it was his vision. It was
Wow.
things that he wanted to see happen in this school and in this community. And of course, I mean, there have been other principals at this school, but his footprint is all over this school. Yeah.
Wow.
That's
And
very
now
true.
we're living that vision,
Yes,
like, right now,
Exactly.
you
doing what we're doing.
That's
you really
insane.
are.
And you
You're
talk about too, like his vision for excellence in the school.
mhm.
How have you like continued to carry that mindset and really put it into your employees that like at Oak Mountain and in Shelby County, we are trying to achieve excellence?
Yeah, that's an everyday
Hmm.
occurrence. We're always trying to think about these opportunities that we can create and
Mhm.
um, always reading, always uh, doing article study, always looking at other districts and
Mm.
even looking at other businesses. I've had the
Yeah.
great opportunity to go places and learn about how companies that are excellent or doing things. I heard, Savannah College of Art and Design mention I
Mhm.
actually got
Hmm.
to go there and see how they do things, and so
Wow.
you get these opportunities to learn from other companies, other individuals. I went to the Mayo Clinic to see how they operate,
Yeah.
and so I think what I've tried to carry on is, just finding new ideas and
Mhm.
Hmm.
looking for ways to create opportunities for you guys, whether it's here or whatever school, so
Yeah, and
Nice.
like finding those ideas not only in businesses, but also in your one-to-one podcasts.
yeah,
Yes.
Like really listening to ideas from what kindergarteners all the way up to seniors. What's
yeah.
the
Mhm.
importance of Shelby County, like really hearing those stories?
Well, to me, you all have a voice, and, this platform is a way for your voice to be heard. And to me, when I started in my role, I just felt like I had to find a pathway to give greater voice to our students
Mhm.
so that
Mhm.
everyone could see just the great kids that we have here in Shelby County. So
Absolutely.
it's
That's
been,
amazing.
yeah, it's been
Mhm.
really fun. Like I said, I go back and watch some, and I realize,
Yeah.
man, I've forgotten
Yeah,
about that
how
one.
long
So
has it been now that you've been doing the podcast?
I'm in year 4 of doing the
Wow.
podcast, so, yeah, it's been really cool.
Goodness.
That's
So,
incredible.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I've noticed with the podcast how you always go to that student's school to do the
yeah.
interview. I think that's so cool. What's some of maybe the rationale and intentionality behind that decision?
Well, I think you want the public to know that the stories exist everywhere. So,
Mm,
if I'm at this school, I want people to know in this community, but Greater Shelby County. If I go to Chelsea, Helena, Vincent, all the
mhm,
places, I want the public to know, really how many students just are amazing across this district. And it's just about finding the story, the
mhm,
Mhm.
right story. And we've been pretty fortunate. Certainly, I can't take credit on my own. I've got a great video team and
mhm.
public relations team, and they'll mention people to me, and then we just make the story work. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, and like in regards to like your team as a whole, what have you done as a leader to really like build them up to where they could support you, but also you support them?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I can do every day is just respond positively to their ideas because they
Mhm.
they just have such great ideas, and so, you're never leading in an I on as a on an island. You're just, an island of one. You have to be able to hear the people that are around you because the people around you have great ideas, and I'm, like, really blessed to have great people, so I make sure I respect that and, honor that, and build it up because
Yeah.
it's important, so
Yeah, actually,
Absolutely.
in the leadership meeting, do you remember, I think it was last Tuesday or the Tuesday before that, this we do this John Maxwell study,
yeah.
and shout out John Maxwell, he's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
And anyways, we were talking about the idea that if you're a leader and then you say, like, leadership is lonely and, like, to lead is lonely, then you're doing it wrong because
Mhm.
you're supposed to lead and bring the people with you.
Yes.
So I
Yes.
guess what's your perspective on that?
Yeah, listen, I think one of the most interesting things about leadership, and this is gonna sound simple, but, you're not leading if people aren't following and
Mhm.
believe that they can share things with you to help the pathway for whatever you're trying to do be greater. Like,
Yeah.
if I'm not listening to you guys and if you have ideas, then I'm not leading
Yeah.
because, what I believe very strongly is that, if you're passionate about leading and making change and
Mm.
being positive, your voice matters. And so to
Yeah.
me, it's important to listen and have people standing beside you who can tell you when something is good, but also can tell you that's not a good idea,
Mhm.
you know.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And and
having
and here's why, you know. So,
absolutely. Having
Mhm.
that trust with people, people who can
sure.
be honest with you, hold you accountable. You've also talked before about the idea that leadership is uncomfortable. Do you think you could expand a little bit on that?
Yeah, I think that any situation where you're trying to make positive change, one
Mhm.
one of the things that I hope you guys realize, people don't like change.
Yeah.
We like
Definitely.
we like routine, we like
Mhm.
things to be what we want them to be. Um, so sometimes when you're trying to institute some really powerful and engaging and new ideas, people push back because it's not what they've always done.
Mhm.
So it creates this sense of being uncomfortable. Um, but I think that's when your best ideas come out, is when you're uncomfortable. Like I was sharing with you earlier, sometimes when I'm about to speak or on this platform in front of people, I have no idea what I'm
Mhm.
going to say. And
Yeah.
I'm uncomfortable because I've
Mhm.
been up that night reading a book or studying an article and I feel like I'm trying to get it all together, but it doesn't come to me until maybe I'm driving there. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
then all of a sudden it, you're like, okay, that's it. So again, that sense of that discomfort helps you, to me, to be a good leader.
Yeah.
Because if I'm comfortable and I just think Oak Mountain is going to be a great place just because it's a great place,
Mhm.
um, then I'm not sure how much we're growing. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
I think we're growing when we find ways to do things differently.
Mhm.
Because the kids that were here in '99 and 2000 when the doors open, you guys are
Mhm.
not them, you know?
Yeah.
You think differently, the world is different,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
so, sometimes we as old people, we have to really just kinda look at your world and make the adjustments that
Mhm.
we need to, and for us, it's not comfortable,
Yeah.
Yeah. What would
so
you say kind of like, again, going from year to year, there's so much adaptability that you have to do.
Mhm.
What's kind of like the mindset that you have to give to others to have like an open
yeah.
perspective on our changing world?
Well, I think for me, it's I'm an always what's next person. Like,
Mm.
what's going to get me to that next level? When I look at academics or I look at opportunities for um, classes or courses or whatever we want to institute, I'm looking at what's next. What's going to help our kids have a better opportunity in the future? And it's not just about analyzing the colleges and universities that you are going to go to or looking at the jobs. It's looking at what are the things that we can do to help better prepare you for those things. How
Mhm.
can we work on helping you understand platform skills? Pretty much like this morning, everyone stood up and spoke and
Mhm.
was honest about what they were feeling. And everyone got a chance to do that. And I think if we can do that, or if it's us finding an opportunity to maybe help you guys understand financial literacy,
Mhm.
anything that I'm always looking at, what is the next step for us to be better? It can't be where we are right now. There's got to be another step. I mean, you know, um, um, we're gonna move forward by stepping. If
Mhm.
we're not gonna move forward by standing still. So,
Mhm.
every step toward something better is my mindset every day.
That's
That's amazing.
amazing. That
Yeah.
just sort of like growth mindset,
Yeah.
1% better every day, that
Yes.
kind of thing. That's incredible. If you've talked a lot about like this community and like what this school means, what we value, if you had to pick maybe just one word to describe this community, what would you say?
Gosh, one word is tough.
Maybe a few words.
Maybe a few words,
Yeah.
a phrase.
Um, well, I think it's, this community is just there's such a demonstration of family and
Mhm.
excellence, and really what I've seen is a commitment to those 2 things.
Yeah.
Um So yeah, interesting stories that in my life that have come from this community because I met my wife here. Yeah, my wife was a
Please elaborate, I would like to hear this.
yeah. So my wife was a third grade teacher at Oak Mountain Elementary.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah, and we met
Mhm.
here just
Just by
by
chance, just in the
chance. Yeah,
halls?
yeah. Just well,
real
no, I had come to a middle school expo. Y'all remember having those expos at the middle school? It's like a carnival.
Oh, my yes.
wait.
So
I
yeah,
remember those. Yes, the big, like,
yeah.
kind of field days, yeah.
Oh,
So
okay, okay, okay.
so yeah,
Yes.
I just happened to be at one with one of my friends because their son was in my wife's class. But I mean, I didn't know that. And
Mm.
so I just happened to be with them. And she was there working on her administrative degree.
Mhm.
And we got introduced to one another. And it was really not that big of a deal.
Mhm.
Um, but then that summer, I was the assistant principal at Pelham High School when they were part of our system. And so she came in to be my intern that summer. And yeah, and
Wow.
so
Straight out of a book.
yeah, so it was really interesting how we met, and then she actually left. She went to Auburn to work
Mm.
on her doctorate. She had gotten a full fellowship to work on her doctorate, and she taught there, and
Mhm.
so yeah, I made several trips to Auburn.
Oh,
Yeah.
look at you
That's
go.
Yeah,
amazing.
so
Mhm.
so yeah, so this community, really helped shape a lot for me, and of course,
Yeah.
I see family, I see
Mm.
excellence, just every day.
Yeah, and, like, speaking about family, you said, like, in this community, families care about families,
Mhm.
and, just going through a global pandemic and then tornadoes hitting the school, what would you kind of say, like, how have you seen, I guess, Shelby County families care about families, that phrase?
Well, I would say it was immediate.
Mhm.
I remember being at home. You spoke about the tornado. I remember being at home and it coming through, and
Mhm.
immediately when it was done, I was out of my car trying to get down 119. And so I had to park near Herdmont and walk up to the middle and elementary school and just um, I think immediately you saw families out and about trying to make sure everything was okay for their neighbors
Mhm.
at the school. And then, of course, I have to give, Sandy Evers a bunch of credit because she organized like food and clothing here at the high school. And we
Mhm.
immediately went out to um, the communities delivering boxes to families. So it was just so immediate, and it was a
Mhm.
testament to how everyone cares about the other person and their neighbor in this community. So just spoke so well of the Oak Mountain community.
Absolutely, that's incredible, and it really speaks to that idea you're talking about of just, like, Shelby County is about family and
We
the
are.
excellence, the pride we take in that. That's
Mhm.
amazing.
We are. You guys exhibit that so much. I mean, through the leadership conference, you have students that come in from different places, and while you all lead it, you just bring them in with such grace and love and kindness. It's
Oh,
just really
thank
cool
you.
to watch. We're just,
Mhm.
when I come to that, I'm just always amazed. So,
Yeah, I was
yeah.
telling Mary that I got you to do the cha-cha slide with me.
You did.
Yes.
Uh,
Oh
You
my
did.
goodness, on the way in there.
I'm glad that's not on film, you know?
oh. Oh, I have a secret
Oh,
camera.
do you?
It's
Oh
somewhere
Mm.
gosh.
else.
We'll release it later at the end of the
Yeah.
interview.
Exactly.
But,
Mhm.
you were talking about, like, some of those big decisions and those big things, like the tornadoes, like the pandemic, and you make decisions that impact, what, over 21,000
Mm.
students, I think? What would you say is kind of just, like, your guiding principle when making these big decisions that impact a lot of lives?
Yeah, I think it's just simple, just do what's right. And
Mhm.
Mhm.
I some of the decisions are very difficult. They're and people don't everyone, you can't please everyone.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that sometimes is a huge challenge. But you just really have to continue to do what's right and
Mm.
believe in doing what's right. And knowing in many respects what you guys deserve, you know.
Mm.
When I decisions through the pandemic, um, everything in my mind was just making sure that we found a pathway to be in school, but a way to keep everyone safe.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
and it was a challenge. I really sometimes don't really like talking about it because it was so challenging. Because I think so many people felt like they knew, but
Yeah.
I
Mm.
think when it was all said and done, I was really proud of the fact that we made good decisions to make sure that you got your educational opportunities were not hindered as much. Um,
Mhm.
Mhm.
but it was it was a challenge. It was a challenge for sure. But again, you got to decide whether you're going to stay in that challenging moment or you're going to take a step forward. And
Exactly.
Mhm.
and
Leadership is
yeah,
uncomfortable.
it is
Right.
uncomfortable. So
Mhm.
again, for me, it was just about taking a step forward. Sometimes that stepping forward is you're taking a risk too.
Mm.
But you have to take those risks that you feel like that will move us forward. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
Absolutely.
yeah.
Wow.
That's
That's
awesome.
incredible.
And I know, like, people really saw you in this moment, but how did it grow you as a person walking through that?
Um, I think you realize how much responsibility that you have.
Mm.
Um, but I also think that it just kind of helps you see like the good in the world. Sometimes I get, and we all do, we get flooded with things. People get
Mhm.
upset about things. And then all of a sudden, you have this moment to be around just like a great student. We were talking earlier about Ryan Hall's a former student
Mm.
here.
Yes.
You just have that moment to be around a great student.
Mhm.
I have to tell you this funny story. So I was in Auburn at a football game, and this all of a sudden I had this little kid just like wrapped around my legs, and it
Oh.
was a kindergartner from Helena Elementary. And I love this kid. Her name's Margaret. She's the sweetest thing ever.
Oh.
Um, but like every time I go now, I just get this big hug from Margaret. And those are the things that you really help you remember. There's so much good when you have these challenges. And
Wow.
that encourages me and keeps me moving forward because I know that I have a reason and God has a reason for me to do the things that I'm doing.
Mhm.
Because I think I think God has pushed me in the direction to continue to do things to help our students and to really maybe just be a role model,
Mhm.
a
Yeah.
positive role model, and that gets back to making sure you have a good name.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then to add on to
Speaking of
that,
that.
you set me up perfect. I'm about to home run this thing. I'm just kidding. But you spoke about at the leadership conference, one of the things your mom told you over and over and over again is that your name is important.
Mhm.
Please just elaborate and tell us the story behind that.
Yeah, so I am actually named after my grandfather. And like I mentioned to you earlier, my name is Lewis Brooks. I have no middle name, just that's it. And
Mhm.
so, of course, that was his name. And he was 6'10", and my mom talked about how he was so well respected in the community. And she talked about how when he would stand up, it just looked like he was going to continue to go up and up and up. And so, just a large stature of a man, and so just well respected. But I heard so much during my lifetime. Proverbs 22 and 1. Proverbs 22 and 1. It's better to find favor in a good name than riches and silver and gold. And so that was just important that
Mhm.
the name that you carry out into the world represents your family, represents
Mhm.
your community, represents you as an individual well, and just demonstrates the character and integrity that my mom and my family looked for from me when I was growing up. So,
Yeah. I guess, and to wrap things up, what would be your advice to students and also the employees of Shelby County of carrying a good name while pulling up others with them?
well, first of all, I think Shelby County is a good name.
Mhm.
I think Shelby County Schools has a reputation for, having done great things for students and continuing to do great things. I think this community has an amazing name.
Absolutely.
And I think my best advice for moving forward is to continue to represent what so many people have done in the past, continue to represent the greatness that we are, and I say that with great humility. Um, there's so much that happens every day that helps to put you all in a good situation for life, and
Mhm.
it's our greatest responsibility as educators, because we're the first people outside of your family that you trust.
Yeah.
Um, and to me, I would never want to do anything to violate that trust. So I think it's important for us to continue to look at our careers like that.
Mhm.
And in many respects, I'll use another C word, look at our calling, because I think
Mhm.
when you're in education, it's a great calling. And
Yeah.
so I think it's important for us to continue to look at that calling that way, our calling that way, and, continue to do great things for our students, for you
That's
guys.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Yeah, thank
much,
you so
Dr.
much for
Brooks.
coming in and
Yeah.
talking to us about all of this.
It was
Yeah.
Oh my word.
incredible.
If I had like 12 hours, I could just sit here and ask you so many
Pick your brain
questions.
on so many
Yeah.
things.
You
Yeah.
got
Oh
to
my
come in every
goodness.
Monday now. Part 3, part 4.
Oh my
Yeah.
Yeah.
goodness,
Well,
It was
yes.
so
we
good.
should, get together again, talk more.
I would love to.
We
I
would
We
love
would
that.
love that.
Look,
Mhm.
because as much as, you may think I'm imparting some sense of wisdom, I'm learning from you all. I'm learning from the
Mhm.
poise that you exhibit here. I'm learning from how you all represent your school in this platform. It's really cool for me to see you guys.
Thank you so much.
Oh,
That
yeah,
means
that
so
means
much.
so much.
Yeah.
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 Oh, that's the best. No, for real though. We're getting a
Yes, we
date.
seriously
We're doing
gotta talk
part
more
2
about
of
all
this
this.
interview because I have so
Amazing.
much more I could go
Yes.
on
Thank you
to.
so much for just
Yeah.
sharing your story with us,
Yeah.
sharing this wisdom. It's been incredible.
Again, every person has story. Every story.
Always.
For
So
sure.
yeah.
For sure. Great way to end it.